Hello, my name is Eric and I'm here today to hopefully demystify the world of V-mounts for you because there are many different options, battery type, and creature comforts. Why might you choose a V-mount battery and just not go with an NPF battery type? For one, if you're charging top dollar, an NPF battery will not fly. If you're charging top dollar and you want to do large contracts, you better come with your A game, and your A game will generally be a V-mount battery. Any V-mount battery worth its salt should have more than generic batteries in it. Higher end ones will generally use, say, entry level higher end ones, like these two here have LG Chem cells. Well, this one here has Samsung 4000 cycle batteries. Now this will give me more battery life in terms of cycles. So the battery should last longer than Mr. Generic. And if you're doing mission critical work, you want something that will last you and not fail during the middle of your shoot, or simply the battery life dropped far sooner than it should have. Reliability, big thing in terms of movie making. You want to make sure that, yes, I know what to expect and that's what I'm getting. In terms of V-mount batteries, they have higher voltage output. They can connect to bigger devices. Cinema cameras will use a V-mount battery often right directly to them, and really large lighting may use a V-mount to power it. When it comes to V-mount batteries, we need to establish what ports do we need. Do we need that 8 volt, 12 volt, USB type A and C? A lot of V-mount batteries will only come with DTAP or some other limited port options. So note that. We might use a dummy battery with our camera, but that's going to be strictly up to what your use case is. In this case, I have an 8 volt barrel port on here, which can actually establish the power for my Sony A7C or my Nikon ZR. Now those batteries I believe are 7.4 volts. Generally, I would not exceed 1 extra volt more than the camera itself can establish. This particular one from Shape here is 8.4 volts, while these two are 8 volts. And 8 volts is absolutely just fine to use with a dummy battery. A lot of people don't want to use dummy batteries because redundancy is kind of more the end game and the thing that a lot of people want. In that case, you'll go to the power delivery, USB type C to C, for instance, here to the camera. If you have power delivery on your camera, that will definitely help you for your end game, because those batteries are dead. Your camera will still have power in the battery, and you can hot swap the battery to another V-mount battery and therefore have power still without failing your camera. You can do this with an NPF battery as well. You'll have an NPF plate for such a thing, or you can have one like this that has type C USB or type A, and that will be the use case there. Now, how about the 12 volt? Generally, consumer level camera monitors are going to be only around 10 watts, maybe reaching 20 depending on the brightness level. When you get to the 4000 nits of brightness or so, this one is only somewhere around 450 nits of brightness, but works for my purposes and is only 5.5 inches in size. Why might we use DTAP? DTAP is for a lot of larger, higher power devices. This light here, if I were to power it by USB, it would not get full brightness. If you plan to upgrade your studio equipment to use DTAP, that option is there, and generally your higher end equipment will use a DTAP connection versus something entry level. Basic YouTube, do you really need DTAP? Probably not, but here is where things get different. Next up is what I call creature comforts. It's the things they establish within this device to make it more convenient or safer for your needs, such as if I wanted to use this particular V-mount, I can clip back this with the buckle on here. So this here allows me to make this nice and tidy. Well, some other options like this one is just a floppy mess. Sure, it might not be a big deal to you. It can be pushed aside, big deal. Now, this one here, just for instance, flips open. It's not flopping away at least, but that, for instance, is our most basic of creature comforts. Well, some actually have for V-mount waterproofing. On the higher end ones, you'll see the little gaskets around our USB and around the 8 volt and 12 volt to prevent water ingress. So you can use it in extreme weather conditions. Another creature comfort is the ability to turn off or on USB ports on the device here. For instance, I might be power delivering to my camera. Do I want it charging the battery at all times to 100% at all times? Leave it connected for, say, a month or two and then find out the battery is drained and the entire time I had the battery set in my camera or whatever device to 100%? That's not good for batteries. Here I have the SmallRig BB99SE. Now this here has such a feature. For this, I'm going to go to my USB-A port, and then I'm going to use this cable right here. As we can see, the power turned on. I'm going to hold down that power on off button, and there we go. It turned off the power. Press the button once, and the power goes back on. Here I have the Shape MV150BC. And the light's on here now, and if I press the power button and hold it, we only get the flashlight. It's not turning off the light on here. So the ports are always on. This is the newer PS212E. It looks like this battery has already been discontinued, but I'll show it anyways because I bought it. So why not? And let's see. And there we have light. Now, if I hold down the power of this, will it turn off the light? Holding, and there we go. So it does power off the light. One thing I like about this display here, let's see if I hold, no, I'm gonna hold the button to turn this one back on. It's not just a matter of tapping it. So that might be useful for you, that you know it's not just a tap of the button, it's actually hold down the power button. I believe this one also, I can actually take the USB out and then replug it in, and the power does not go on. So there we go. So it powers off this completely. Well, the SmallRig that had its own convenience here. If I plug this in, it turns this on. Now I'm gonna, do this again here. And then well, that's tight. Okay, let's put it back in. It powers back on automatically as soon as you take out and put in or press the button. Creature comfort number 3 could be the D-tap port itself. For instance, this SmallRig has only one direction we can face the D-tap. The Shape battery itself allows dual mounting either up or down with this particular unique design of the D-tap. Still only one port for usage, so if we need more ports, that might be something you want to consider, especially if you have multiple devices that use D-tap. Dual D-taps allowing us to connect 2 D-tap devices. Now you can also get mounts that have, say, from 1 D-tap to even split to 4 D-taps. So there is that option should you need multiple D-tap connection ports. Creature comfort number 4 on these particular batteries is the mounting type. For instance, I have screw holes that allow me to mount onto the back plate of this, while this one does not. This is an example, but another one would be, say, smartphone control. Ports be off or on through the use of a smartphone app. And this also allows us to update the firmware in several different options of batteries, should that be something that concerns you or is of interest to you. Max power output as well as the ports of each one. Now the one that has the most power happens to be the battery with the most power right here. For 140 watts USB Type-C power delivery, that is amazing. A total of 220 watts max output power. In this particular one, it is 216 watts of max output power, and this one's the most entry level with a max of 100 watts of output power. So I want the biggest battery possible, right? Avoid those limitations. I'll have all the power I want, not a problem. Well, wait a second. How about the weight of these batteries? 6,800 milliamp hours. I can carry that pretty much all day long. In general, not a problem whatsoever. And I'm comfortable with this size, 10,350 milliamp hour of a battery. This I might not want to hold for too long. Still could be done. I still don't mind if I'm hand holding for a period of time. I may want to choose to mount it on a tripod or some other mounting system. Now when I'm going to 14,550 milliamp hours, this I don't want to be hand holding without a shoulder rig or a whole entire bodysuit. Otherwise, again, stationary is great for something this large. One of the more common mounting systems used is a rail type system because it makes it easy to connect things where you want it. You can put it forward, back. You can add, say, a Tilta Nano 2 as I had before, as well as a SmallRig F60. So that is the most common one that I've seen out in the field. Let's go to this type of system. It's very basic. There's no extra connections. We have a couple of mounting points right here, but of course, either one works for mounting. Whoops, going the wrong way around. Yeah, so there it goes. Easy to connect. And then, yeah, of course, these all work for connections. Now, this one is a more advanced one with extra ports right here from Small Rig. I recently reviewed this one. So let's say if I need more ports, and I was going to lock this there. Now I lock it back up. So that's nice here. We have a lock and unlock feature. If you want to see more, watch my review on this here. So we have all those extra ports that you see right there. Now, there's a disadvantage, of course, of something like this, that the power is on. And if you power a device, if you connect it USB that uses power, it'll actually turn the USB ports on even without this light, and then I have to hold down this to turn it back off. Now, this is not for storing your battery. You shouldn't use this for storing your battery. It could turn the power back on, but it does, this particular one does lock into place, so it won't just come off your V-mount. Now, there are safety devices built into this, but it mostly depends on the V-mount battery itself for the safety to actually be in this. This is a recent purchase, and I got this mostly because, do we see this on-off switch? Yeah, that's important to me. Now, why does this matter? Well, for one, let's put this on here, and now it's connected. Whoops, it's more finicky. This is definitely more finicky. Okay, there we go. It's in, it's on. As we can see, it doesn't mount as nice. This here is not as nice. Not something I knew before I purchased. So yeah, I'll note that one. But switch on, switch off, switch on, switch off. I just really dislike this here. If you have other questions I did not answer, feel free to ask those questions below. Maybe about V-mount batteries or even NPF batteries. I have videos on NPF batteries, or simply about the ports on here. I've never reviewed this particular mount. In fact, I just opened the box today. And in terms of this one, it does have with a screen protector, but it has its limitations. I already broke one, just to be honest. The plastic clips broke already on this. However, I do have two of them. Yes, it looks absolutely awesome. Check out the video right here, and then you can see the review of this, including at the end of this video, why I do not recommend this, as Small Rig states, not for long-term storage. Thanks for watching, and have yourselves a most wonderful day.